Um, I just learned the basics of making a reggaeton beat from a keyboard sound I liked that I found on my huge Casio keyboard. I'm gonna play it. Wait, is this, let's see if this works. Lower one better. You were saying that I was just realizing that, so you like just go and see what's like Ableton might do and see what, if you come across something you like.
Yeah, I was just talking about how it's sort of fun to like work with you or see how you work, because like all the stuff that I made so far, for example, is me just like finding a pack of like reggaeton beat, just like slapping things together and see if something sounds good. And it's kind of fun to like see someone who has something, an idea in their head, and then just like learning the software to like get to the point that they can make it. It's much different than how I work on things, but it's kind of like a piece that I miss, and very rarely I'll be in kind of a zone where that's how I'm working and like the result is always better. It's really funny. This is just like a missing piece for me.
I was thinking about how it actually sounds like the way you were saying you take photographs, and that you take 1,000 and then you like see the three. And for me, we were laughing because I learned analog photography where like film is expensive, especially black and white film was really expensive, and paper was expensive, and so it like forced. So I interpreted that as like you better like know what's the vibe you're going for. Not all photographers do that. Obviously, there's so many types, but and so it was like I clicked the shutter when I finally saw it. It's really funny. That's kind of a similar thing here. I'm excited to play with it. I think the keyboard lets me play with it the way you're describing, where I just get to like keep pressing buttons on the keyboard and go through like every instrument slowly to see what comes up. But actually, you're right. I'm never like, what's cool? I'm always like, I'm looking for a new monster.
Yeah, you're always you have kind of an idea. Like yeah, with a keyboard, I mean, I don't even know where I'd start with that. I mean, even when we were, that first time that we were working together and I was on the keyboard just like looking for sounds,
for a melody,
and yeah, something like that, and like I'm just like whatever, and then I maybe did something, you were like, there it is. It's like I mean, okay, like it like made no real impression on me at all. I was just
I didn't realize that. I thought you were like, what could be a cool, I guess you were doing that. It works out. It works out. This also turned my mood around, and I'm thankful for that, because I was a little dreary of a mood today, Monday.
Yeah. This is, I think, we had a talk a little bit yesterday about how, like, stand-up comedians, like, our relationship between stand-up comedy and gambling.
I'm excited about this, not role, but, like, almost, like, metaphor, analogy. Sorry, interrupted you.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, so the idea is that there's, like, I guess this, when you go up, on stage and do stand-up, we don't know anything much about it, really, but,
I perform jokes.
Yeah. So
I used to perform jokes for a living that were called leadership trainings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Paloma is familiar with making people laugh, like in front of an audience, and I guess has some insight about this, but
But not it was not stand up, to be fair.
Not stand up, but like, you know, there's some overlap there. Performance, making people laugh, just with a microphone. Mm-hmm. And this idea that like you're not completely certain what's gonna happen, and sometimes it hits just right, and like you get this big payout, and maybe that's like what keeps driving you as a comedian. I don't know. But what I was saying about that is Ableton, kind of similar like experience with the brain. It's definitely my experience. Music in general, has been my experience where by and large, or oftentimes like as you're working, you don't really get this experience of seeing something that you know that like just it's like working. It's like, oh, this sounds great. These pieces fit. There's like huge stretches of time in between where things aren't working. And with Ableton, it's like while you're learning the software, it's just like you're just digging into the rock. And every now and then you'll come across like a tiny bit of gold, and it's like, okay, there's like more gold somewhere down there. This is good. And I think, you got to be down to just like dig into rock.
Yeah, I think I'm just such a reverse engineer. Like, how do we have, in this case, I have a thing and a vibe in my head, and I'm like, need to reverse engineer it from its finished component. So it'll be interesting. I like that yours is more... I think it'll make sure that we have plenty of doses of unexpected, like a quality there. And you do have, I think, experience performing in front of an audience in bands where you have that thing where you just had some fails. It's just like going up there and just like fucking not connecting with the audience maybe, but some that you just like gave it. I think one thing I really don't want to forget from kind of walking back and starting to connect this idea is that like some part of my head was still thinking about the band and performing, since it's not I'm terrified about performing music and performing that part, like the animal creature that's Art Paloma. It's like this wild animal kind of. I'm very scared, and in part it's because I've been thinking about it, like I gotta land everyone. And we were talking about that. If stand-up comedians are... because they know that some are just not going to work out, but there's kind of this like gambling quality of like, yeah, but which one's going to just be the big winner? They kind of also know that like you could just put 2 chips on that number in the roulette wheel. That's fucking boring, and it means the payout's not going to be very big. Or you could put like all your fucking chips in, and now everyone comes to your roulette table because they're like, this motherfucker's putting all their chips on that one fucking number. Now this is interesting because they're all fucking in. And that's right where you see like 20 people surrounding a table, so that when there is the payout, everyone's like, fuck yeah! They're like there with you. And like, I think for me it was a big thing to reframe that the songs or the performances to be like, I don't know, man, I'm feeling good about this extra wide way of doing this tonight, or about this audience, but it's all a fucking guess. You know some of them are going to be not winners. And so you're like, but is it going to be this one? And you know that the only way to keep it interesting for everyone in the space, in the room, is to put all your fucking chips on that number then. And then just got like fucking spill it, you know? And then if it's like if you lose, in this case, it's not literally your life savings. It's just your ego. Do it again the next day.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think I haven't had like a huge pool of, I don't know, some people have played a lot more than I have, let's say. But that is one thing that I guess was something I learned, at least for myself. Maybe it's different for everyone, but, like, not retreating to like a place of safety in yourself when you're performing, I think is like kind of critical, that you don't do that.
Because like I think the audience feels it.
Yeah, it's not a good vibe. Yeah.
It's not, right. So the reason to bring it back to Ableton or your approach to music and creation is that it's a good thing to balance the vision or the vibe in my head with the like leaving plenty of room for what shouldn't be over-designed and what just needs to like surprise you.
Yeah, well, yeah, and this is like maybe something that can't quite be nailed down, but like I would expect us to run through a set like a lot of times.
Yeah.
So like you'll have done everything and like you should be like comfortable with the idea, you know, there shouldn't be anything that's like consistently you don't like in a set. And then when you go to perform it, like I don't even know how to explain my experience with it, but like it's like you know all these songs and you've played them 1,000 times, and there's still like two ways to play them. There's like this kind of safe route, which like is that you already know how this is gonna go, and like you know what this, it's like you know everything. And then there's like what I think is like the real route, which is every like the air in every room with every group of people is different, and there's a like there's a spontaneity that's like calling you to like be brave and face and like take the plunge and like jump off the cliff, and like that I think is like what performing really amounts to. So even if if you've played the songs 20 times, like every time you go on live there should still be this feeling of like jumping off the cliff and like being brave and facing it head on.
Yeah.
That's just my like philosophy. I don't know how thrilled anyone else is hearing language like that, but
I think that's what the Mirror House performances are supposed to be. I was like, where's my bag? I was looking for notes about the retreats, and I found some notes about the band where I was like overthinking something. I must have been, because then I like re-anchored myself, and I thought it was really funny.
Paloma's flipping through her notebook.
Yeah.
She takes a lot of notes. She writes a lot. That's something y'all might not know about Paloma. She writes like 3 or 4 pages every day.
Every day. This notebook is made of like really cheap paper. And it's my favorite so far, because now it means each page is like extra wrinkled each time I handle it, and so it just makes the whole thing kind of softer. I'm really fond of it. I wrote down, I want it to be a religious experience. Feeling their core animal self with almost a fervor or near frustration to let this core love and hunger out.
Yeah.
So, can't approach that with timidity and safety if that's what you want the audience to give you to consider surrendering to as well. Is this like, I think we've all, hopefully have gone to like a show at least once in our lives where like plenty of shows that we've gone to where we just kind of like nodded our heads, we tapped, they were like, that is good, I like this, okay, as audience members. But hopefully we've all like been to one where you just kind of lost your shit as an audience member because they were just like, they took you there. I think I told you about the Dan Deacon one, where it was the first time I saw him, and I realized like maybe halfway or 2/3 through the set that I was like maybe gonna vomit because I'd been jumping up and down so hard that I like was maybe, I don't know, hyperventilating. I don't know. I've like never, I guess surrendered like that. And I don't even remember how I was jumping. Meaning I wasn't like trying to look cool. It was just like the whole room was losing their minds, and it was very lovely to be there together. So it's like an equal surrender for both the band and the audience. What if we could do that?
Yeah, well, something that makes me like feel good or confident about the whole project is that you have a bigger idea for like what you're trying to do, other than like I don't know.
Make cool songs.
Yeah, make cool songs.
Makes you want to dance a little.
Yeah, which is probably, this is like that meme, the like IQ meme or whatever, and at the low and high end, they're just like, we want to make cool songs, and in the middle there's this huge explanation about what you're trying to accomplish. So maybe that's us in the middle, but I really like it. I think that if that you're like trying to hit some sort of ideal that is like kind of on a different plane, it goes a long way in performing. So yeah, I'm like really interested in this project that we're working on.
That said, after this, we're traveling to hang with family in Mexico with possibly shitty Wi-Fi, hopefully, for 5 days. And when we traveled for Thanksgiving to Virginia, I didn't feel, it was hard to like 100% disengage from our world and like our life and then come back. Like I had a hard time. It took me quite a bit to like be like, what was I doing again? And now we're like back on like having this great momentum and just projects and all that. And so I think we had said that maybe you would bring the laptop with Ableton loaded on it. And so one thing we could do is like keep watching either tutorials or just like fucking around so that we kept learning it. But I don't know. But we also have recently discussed that because we have 30 projects going at a time, we can kind of only do 2.5, or I was saying I kind of feel my best when I'm doing 2.5, 3 at once max, and then the others I know are just somewhere down on the timeline. And right now the pod is as momentum, because we have all this, at this point, quite a 6-7 recordings, so we can, keep doing that. I don't want to presume that you have that need to be working, or I don't know, engaging with our life here while we're in Mexico, like I do, so that when we come back, I can just like get back in the game in a nice way. And 2, how are you feeling about whether we should keep Ableton on the like something we tinker with while we're there, or should it just be the pod? Or
yeah, that's a good question. That kind of hinges on whether we want to drag a laptop down there. I think even just like watching a video or a couple of videos together.
Oh, it's maybe like the iPad.
Would be enough, yeah, just to keep our brain like primed.
Yeah.
'Cause so that's one idea. I don't feel like I have that much of a problem just like switching back, but I don't want to lose momentum if you're like starting to learn, so
Ableton.
yeah, because it's like a nightmare to learn. I feel like it's like the same as learning Spanish, basically. It's like so complicated.
Yeah. And I did just learn, how to make.
Yeah, so why?
I'm infinitely proud of that little dorky shit that I just did. Okay. Idea then number 1 is, but I don't retain stuff from watching videos. I don't know why my brain's broken that way, but if I bring this laptop, it has Ableton. It's got lots of the files already on it, and it has the files for the pod.
Right.
I don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like a fancy, I think every laptop is fancy, but it's pretty old, and it's not, I don't know, it's not that big of a deal to, and it's not, there's nothing else on it. It's got like Ableton and just the pod stuff, so I don't.
We should put the pod stuff up onto Google Drive before we
I did today.
Oh, okay. So,
I forgot to share it with you.
I'll like fix all that stuff, like normalize the audio or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do all that gladly. So yeah. Well, we got time to decide whether we want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even like freaking spending an hour would keep the momentum. If you were interested, I'm in support of that. This laptop is awful.
Yours?
Yeah, the battery's toast, so it's a big hassle now.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I'll just I want to tidy this laptop so like it's like logged out of all my work stuff, so I'm not even reminded of it.
Yeah.
Because that's just because of Chrome. Mm-hmm. Chrome lets all of your work follow you around everywhere you go if you want to. So, okay, that feels good. And logistical question for you for tomorrow. You're getting coffee with a friend, but I think it's not going to rain tomorrow, and it would feel good to take that horrible 1970s, not hyperbole, air conditioner out of the busted out, fucked up window.
Yeah.
It's definitely so heavy and weird. and I know how your favorite thing is to move heavy things around, but this will be quick.
That's not in the realm of things that just send me into an irrational rage. Why do I hate moving furniture so much? I must have like pulled a muscle one time when I was like 14, and it just like is unconsciously always in my head. That AC unit isn't going to be a problem.
No. And
do you have a board to cover the window?
I have glass I got at Home Depot.
Oh, that's even more complicated.
I have the glass cutter. So the thing that I was thinking about was unscrewing these weird shitty screws that are in there, I think, holding the whole AC unit up.
Yeah.
Pop that buddy out. Which I think we have to like wiggle out.
Sure.
And then with a mallet or maybe an X-Acto knife or like a fucking utility knife, cut out the also 50, 80-year-old, who knows, actually, caulk that sealed that piece of wood to the window frame that's around the AC. Cut that out, mallet it out, and then I can actually get the exact measurement for the glass. I have the glass cutter, cut it out.
Okay.
But the only part I actually need your help with is popping out the AC.
That's not a problem.
The rest I can just slowly do.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And doing it early enough so that I have the day to, kind of keep at it, so that by nightfall, for sure, the whole thing is done.
For sure. For sure.
All projects stay on tight timelines, especially if they're house projects.
For sure, we've never underestimated.
Tripled the amount of time that a simple house project would take.
I feel good knowing we can probably just put a board over it.
Yes, so plan B is I'm not done. And I press a board up to it, and then Wednesday continue.
Okay. That sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay.
What time should I be available for that? I have time tomorrow. 9
a.m. if you're up for it.
Alright, we can do that. Okay. We have not talked about Paloma's list of projects. You'll hear about that sometime. The house changes have dominated the last couple months. So...
Yeah, I had this realization in my morning pages that maybe this was last week. I gave myself permission, da. You now have permission, Paloma, to, at least in your head, be like, what kind of creative am I? Or what kind of artist am I? It's like, oh, you're a space artist.
Dude, yeah.
It's like, you are, the way some people talk about their canvases, you have that relationship with a room where you just, because I realized I have the same process. I was in the North Room trying to figure out how to turn it into a lovely, safe, creative womb. AEWOMB. What a weird word. Womb. And I realized I was crouching, squatting on the floor for 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Just staring at the room. And I realized that if you walked in, you would find me full squat, staring at the room like it was a stare contest.
Yeah.
And talking to it.
Yeah.
And I realized that'll be embarrassing. And then I realized, why? People talk to their canvases.
Yeah.
And I said something like, just tell me, is it a color? And I was listening to a color, and then I got a message from the room where it was a vision of what it wanted, and I didn't like it. I never told you that, what vision it gave me.
Yeah.
And I was I didn't like it.
Try again.
And I was kind of looking at it in my mind's eye, and I laughed out loud, and I said, "Are you fucking kidding me? That's really hard." And I realized I'm going to think of myself as stupid for these kinds of processes, but I wouldn't if I were a painter looking at a cloth canvas stretched on a frame. I'd just be like, yeah, you talk to shit. It's fine. It's part of the painting process for you.
Yeah, if you want it to actually be good, you might have to talk to it.
I have to talk to it. And so, anyway, so that's maybe a long way of saying my current major medium right now is rooms. And I have a new design for the south room I'm really excited about, where I am going to have to buy 8 2x4x8s, fresh ones, but they're only $5 each.
Oh, okay.
So it's a $40 project.
There you go.
And the rest, I'm wondering if I can, so I'm making an alcove bed from an old IKEA bed frame. That's wood, so it's easy to, it's pine. I'm very excited. I'm going to lift the whole motherfucker up by, quite a bit, a foot or two off the floor. If you had this new frame. Very, 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 very excited. I'm wondering, for the alcove vibe, if I could steal, you have on your side 4 sliding beautiful wooden doors in your closets.
Sure.
Can I steal 2 of the 4?
Yeah.
You sure?
I actually, don't like those things.
Can I have all 4 of them? And just, I can replace them with a nice curtain that you like in exchange.
Yeah, I think you can just have all 4. Actually, the ones in my bedroom are a hindrance because I can't easily get to half the clothes on my rack.
I've noticed.
It's pretty annoying.
Yeah. They're so old that they need oiling on the bottom tracks if you want them to move easily. It'd be a whole thing. Actually, yeah.
Well,
or I could take them off your hands.
Yeah.
And replace them. I have plenty of curtain rods.
I'm pretty tempted to say that we should just take those too. But yeah, you can have them all. I don't want them.
Okay.
If they're useful.
They're beautiful. And they're just stupid.
We probably shouldn't saw them.
No. Well.
Are we gonna have to? Because
yes, they will be
one day we're gonna want to put them back on and we won't have them anymore.
Why? Why would we want to put them back on? I can install new boards if we really want that. They're so heavy. Because, it's, again, quality. They don't make them like they used to, but they're so heavy.
That's the thing, isn't it?
I think if we needed to, we could install fancier curtains like the kind that are flat panels.
I feel like this is the first time I've ever said this, but when we go to sell the house,
which we have no plans to,
people are gonna probably want the doors on those things.
Not if... Stand behind the next statement, which is, not if they fall in love with the room as soon as they walk in. And that's what my job is. As people walk in during some open house, or when their realtor's walking them around, and they walk into a room and they say, I fucking love this room. Or if they're more conventional, they're like, I love this room. And then later, they're not going to be like, but wait, why are these beautiful curtains here instead of something else? I only say that because if you can imagine, I've removed lots of closet doors from past houses because I was like, go fuck yourself with this situation. Oh, I hate sliding closet doors.
They suck.
Everybody knows they suck.
They suck.
Going from your bed to get dressed, or getting undressed into your bed, i.e. engaging with your closet, should not involve pushing boulders left and right.
Yeah.
That kills the chill vibe.
It's pretty stupid. I have them just both middle open right now. I hate them. I'm just saying, they were built with this purpose.
That's true.
It will be obvious that doors used to be there and they're not anymore and we don't have them. So it's I like the house, but can you knock off $4,000 for the wood because it's the year 20 whatever, and wood is a precious resource?
And my answer will be no. There were 4 other offers on this duplex.
Yeah, well.
Do you want us to go to one of the other ones?
All right.
Sorry,
Let's just take them off.
I'm playing hardball.
I don't care that much.
Do you like that I started being like, hey, any chance I can have 2 of the 4? And
the
now I'm
answer
like,
was-
they're mine, and I'm going to saw them in half.
I think it was more like if my best argument was what about when we go to sell the house, that was when you were like, I'm like taking the doors. That's all you got? If you had told me you liked the doors, then I wouldn't have taken them.
Yes, if you were like, I am fond of having that much extra
Yeah.
wood in the bedroom, I'd be like, let me create new beautiful wood panels for you for the walls. I do think everyone hates them. And
I just feel like a curtain like is cheap looking. It's like a military dorm or something.
I've seen plenty of Pinterest. As y'all can imagine, I have an extensive Pinterest library of room inspirations. I've seen plenty that have curtain.
Alright. Well, I might not even want them.
They're called boho rooms.
I might not even want curtains anyway because the cats are just going to shred them. So, like, the curtains are just.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't need them.
Wait, how are, and then I have to go.
Okay.
How are the curtains doing in the living room? The kitties haven't.
There's claw holes.
But they're not like.
They're not getting shredded. They're not
bringing the
this.
whole rod down.
They prefer other things. You know that I was really into Paloma got a rug that it turns out she didn't like how it looked, and I took it and put it in my. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the cats are gonna demolish this, and I definitely see them shredding it, but like you can't tell because it's enormous, and they aren't like. It looks like they're not going to the same spot every time. So I'm like, man, this is a great deal. You just get like a $70 rug from wherever, Marshall's.
Yeah.
And it's just like a scratch pad that'll last 2 years, and you'll just replace it with another $70 rug in 2 years.
Or you can just trim all that off. Also, it's got a really wild pattern, which I think hides any one spot that might be extra scratched into.
Well, so yeah, I agree. I could
well.
probably even extend the life of this giant scratch pad, but yeah, basically the cats prefer the couch and the carpet now, and they don't like mess much with anything else.
I can see the couch, per usual, and that rug being so much more satisfying to
rug?
like tug at with your nice sharp nails.
Yeah.
Instantly.
That rug is heavy.
Versus curtains are so thin.
Right.
You can tell there's a give in them that's not sad.
They can't.
If I were a cat.
They can't just like. They're like basically doing like a workout routine on the rug. Mm-hmm. It's like really just shredding.
Yeah.
The vet asked like, "Oh, do you want us to trim his nails?" I was like, nah.
I like them.
Really? Like,
destroying the new rug.
Yeah. Does he like claw everything at home? I was like, yeah. I mean, I don't really care though. I mean, I said like, I mean, if it makes your job easier, you can do it. And they were like, oh, whatever. We're not gonna do it.
No. Bo wasn't gonna have it.
She's like, do you find like claw stuff, like claw shells around the house? I was like, yeah. I don't see what the problem is. Like, what's the issue? But yeah, I don't really see the point because you'd have to do it every, 6 months? No way am I doing that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no interest. I just let them scratch me and it's fine. Alright. Do you want to pass? Or pause, I mean?
Yes.
Alright. Maybe we'll return tonight, maybe not.
Yeah. Can try.
I would like to talk about your list of things at some point.
Let's come back. That cheered me up immensely from my gray day mood, so thank you.
Great.
Okay.